Hi guys, so as you know, law tech is the field I've decided to go into. I think it's the most exciting area of law to specialize in, and it's very niche. It's still on the rise, and it has so many great opportunities, especially for us young people who want more of an expansive, more inclusive version of law where it's not just purely law. It's also got fintech, it's got finance, it's got business, it's got IP, it's got tech, it's got so many fields within law. So it's really interesting. And so I wanted to discuss the difference between law tech and legal tech. They sound similar, but they're very, very different. So, legal tech isn't necessarily technology replacing lawyers, but what it is that lawyers will use tech, software, AI to assist them in running more efficient law firms. So, smart contracts, it takes over all of the admin work, so it reduces costs for attorneys and things like that and improves efficiency. Only downside for legal tech is that obviously if admin is more efficient and cost less, billable hours obviously drop, and so they make less money. So they're not really open to tech in the law field, because in as much as it's more efficient, it also means that they're gonna have to do more work for less pay, which is why there's always such a huge resistance in the legal field to increase tech. And so the difference between legal tech, that was legal tech, and law tech. Law tech is different to legal tech in that law tech is essentially bringing legal services as a consumer good to businesses, to software engineers, to medicine, and things like that. So the difference with that is legal tech is the law firms, the typical law firms. You go to a lawyer who bills you per hour of working on their case, whereas law tech is where you bring law in house. That's the best way I can explain it. You bring law in house to every to small businesses, specifically small businesses who don't have money to pay huge law firms and huge attorneys. So what you do is essentially you teach them how to automate a lot of the legal services. They get to actually practice, in some way, practice law by themselves. They're involved in drafting their contracts. You just have to do the templates and have the tech in place so that they go through all their contracts, all their IP patents, requirements, and things like that. So essentially, it does in a way replace the attorney, because they no longer have to keep coming to you to meet all their service needs. All you have to do is keep up to date with the laws and the tech and do that work for them, the servicing work for them, but they take the law into their hands. So it's much more efficient for them. I think they would prefer that as opposed to the heavy costs per hour. And so a lot of people are opposed to legal tech, but are opposed to law tech, but are more willing to embrace legal tech. So legal tech is when law firms use IT to improve efficiency. Law tech is when you bring the law into small businesses and into clients so that they can have some input into the law. So it will replace lawyers eventually. To some extent, it does replace the need to have lawyers in a business or in house. So you're bringing the law into in house to a company. So the major difference we've talked about, it attempts to take lawyers completely out of the picture, then merely improve the law firm's efficiency. Law tech can help improve access to justice as the costs of legal services are rising exponentially, and it can improve our court systems which are backlogged. So, like things, you can think of things like online dispute resolution, whereas there's some like CCMA, the Small Claims Court, and other lower courts where you don't necessarily need legal rep, and undisputed cases, you don't need legal representation. So things like that can be done online. You can help them with contracts and things like that, so that people don't have to necessarily interact with lawyers. Nothing wrong with attorneys. I love attorneys. As someone who is an attorney, I do like them. But the point is that fees can be a huge thing, and especially with access to justice being a major area of dispute, that is the solution as far as I can see. And the UK does serve as a beacon for online justice, in the sense that they have implemented online courts, online dispute resolutions. They're developing apps which help people access legal services at low to no cost at all. which obviously isn't a good thing for the lawyers, but then obviously it benefits society in some sense. So you get to see a lot of attorneys now working with computer scientists to develop these apps, to improve these apps. And so what a lot of attorneys says when I ask them about like what they think about all these law tech firms coming up and helping improving their efficiency, they tend to say that the apps, they don't like the apps, not because like law is a conservative field and they don't want anything to do with tech. It's just that the apps which are developed by computer scientists and not lawyers. So they're not well suited for an attorney's work. So you'll find there's a lot of resistance because the app is developed by someone who's just been told, we want something to do this, this, and that, but it doesn't necessarily meet all the nuances that a lawyer needs. So when you see the collab between like the computer scientists and the lawyers, you get to see better improvements in the app and less resistance to change. And I think especially if the LLBs did a greater job of well, I wouldn't say forcing like computer science and math courses. I think you'll find less resistance over time because then it will just be expected of them to know programming, coding, computer science, and things like that. And so, really, like law tech is an alternative career path for a lot of us who want to bring the law as a consumer good, as a consumer product into businesses and things like that, and not necessarily work in a law firm as an attorney billing hours, but necessarily to sort of go into business and not necessarily into law in the traditional sense. So AI is more efficient. We know that for a fact AI is more accurate and efficient than attorneys can be, and especially in things like contract issues. I think that, and especially like contract IP and things like that, they're probably going to embrace this area first before things like competition law, labor law. Some labor law disputes are fairly easy to handle online, especially through online dispute resolutions. So you're going to find some fields are more open to law tech than others. And it's an interesting area, especially law tech, to see how things go. Most people are more preferential to legal tech. Like I said, it's like law firms who are implementing tech, and less are more open to law tech, which is completely removing attorneys and bringing the law as a consumer product to businesses.